ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Kodiak Creep. I'm B, your host. Also go by Kodiak Corpse on a lot of other platforms. That's the main title here. So if you want to follow us over on TikTok, Kodiak Corpse, I do a lot of spooky art. I do some music, some sad boy stuff, and some unhinged, thirsty stuff. But more importantly, there's a group tab over there where you can join a fan base and really just keep in touch with the other followers. It's a community for you guys, for suggestions, just banter, stuff like that. And I also go live over on TikTok quite a bit, where we do a lot of the horror art that's directly, heavily fan influenced. So go check that out. But more importantly, we're here for part 2 of No Sleep by user A10A10A10 on r/NoSleep. So I suggest going and watching the first video before you jump into this one. It's about 13 minutes long, not that long. If you want to jump in blind, that's cool too. I don't give a fuck. You're probably grown, I hope. But yeah. So anyway, I'm recording the intro to this in a batch with part 1, but I guarantee you part 2 did not get recorded the same night. So you will probably notice a lighting and outfit change at some point in the video. It is what it is. Sorry, I know that bugs some people, so I just want to put that disclaimer out there. But other than that, yeah. Without further ado, let's hop into No Sleep Part 2. It's now a day later. I have been here for more than 24 hours. More than half of the bread left here for me has already been eaten, and more than half of the water has been drunk. It stinks something foul in here. You can probably guess why. But I also started noticing a sulfur-like smell that seemed to be leaking in from somewhere. It was torturous sitting in here, in the dark. I had nothing to distract me. The internet was blocked. My only escape was reading other no-sleep stories. Sitting in a dark room, possibly waiting for your death, is not the best time to read these stories. It made my imagination run wild. It was also excruciating reading the comment section of my story. So few people took the situation seriously. If only you knew my frustration. The most popular comment to my story was about combining 2 half loaves of bread into one as to create a hole to escape from. Imagine sitting in the pitch black after shitting in a bucket and having to read that comment. But I eventually found the comment I was looking for. I couldn't make it clear in the comment section of the other thread because it was against the rules, but I can explain it now. One of the comments in the previous thread was written by the username Daisy Dove. That is the name that my daughter uses for many things. Her email account, her Xbox gamer tag, her Snapchat username. I'm not sure if they created a new account for her or she already had a Daisy Dove post history on Reddit. If I click on her username, it says, as always, domain forbidden. I'm dying inside. But this story is supposed to remain unemotional as per the instructions. I'm trying my best to follow the rules. It wouldn't be too difficult for them to find out her username and create a fake account to trick me. That's what I tried to convince myself. I responded to the Daisy Dove comment on my story. They told me to look for a new private message. I found it and opened it. It was a picture of my 14-year-old daughter. She was standing in front of the front door of her house. Does this mean they've taken her? Or they could take her? I hope it doesn't break the rules to say this, and I'll write it as calmly as possible, but it was the most difficult hour or so of my life. Sitting in the dark, looking at that picture. There was a message attached to it. Maybe now you'll try harder to follow the rules. I also eventually received a message from Your Fate in the Balance with further instruction. Well, good evening. 810, 810, 810. I hope you're having a comfortable stay. I see your first story had quite the reaction. What is it at? Over 1,500 upvotes at the moment. Almost 300 comments. Well done. Somebody with us has a message for you. We'll let her come and type it out for herself. Dad, please, just do what they say. They'll let us live. I know they will. Aw, that sure was nice, wasn't it? Was that really her typing those words? Or just us pretending? Hard to know, isn't it? I guess you'll just have to take our word for it. She looked so beautiful as she sat here typing it out. It would be a shame if something bad were to happen to her. You know, like if certain rules weren't followed. Speaking of broken rules, somebody was a bad boy on his first NoSleep story. We caught your emotional plea the moment you submitted it. It angered us. It angered us greatly. Repercussions were promised, and they will be arriving shortly. In the meantime, you can start writing part 2 of your story. Same rules as before, but do not submit your new story until notified. And if you're getting bored, here's some reading for you. It ended with a Wikipedia link to sulfur mustard, the only Wikipedia page I can access. A poisonous gas infamous for its uses in World War I. That explains the smell I noticed leaking in. I looked through the wiki page and noticed a few things about the gas. It often takes up to 24 to 48 hours for effects to begin. I also looked at the specific symptoms to see just what exactly I was in for. It's one of the most excruciating deaths imaginable. Your exposed skin burns and blisters, full of a disgusting yellow fluid. There will be vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal pain. Eyes become so inflamed and burned, eventually leaking blood. Nose leaking blood as well. Everything leaking blood. Even as I type this, I noticed the beginnings of blistering. I'm going to follow the rules and write this as unemotionally as I can. But it's already indescribably excruciating. I've noticed a slight fever, stinging eyes, and I'm already partially short in breath. The good news is that I think they were just giving me a taste. They are no longer filling the room with gas. But more than ever, they have my attention. You hear that? You have my undivided attention. No more rules will be broken. Just tell me what I have to do to make this stop. I'm finished for now. I'm waiting in agony for my notification telling me to submit. Okay. It's been 3 hours. My blistering has gotten drastically worse. Go ahead and look at the pictures. Go ahead and look at the pictures of the internet mustard gas blisters. Go ahead and look at the pictures on the internet of mustard gas blisters. The ones on my arm are getting bigger, and they're starting on my left leg and neck. They've received another message. It's from your fate in the balance again. I've been told to paste the message and then respond with just one word. So how's your afternoon going? It might smell a little like burnt mustard in there. Sorry about that. But I assume you're doing okay. For now. I believe we've given you a little idea of what you're in for. What your last moments of life will be like. If that's the choice you make. But things could end pretty badly for your daughter as well, you know. We're going to be honest with you. Honesty is the best policy, right? Either she walks free or you do. That is your choice. So who do we let go? You will in this pose with one word and one word only. Who leaves? Me or her? We look forward to seeing your answer. Even more so, we're looking forward to ending our little game. That's the best part. Her. Remember when I said that very important thing about how I batch filmed a lot of stuff and the intro was batch filmed with the last episode? Excuse me. Yeah, here's your outfit change that you guys were warned about. So, anyway, I wanted to stop this here. Because it's the end of part 2, but also I got to looking into Daisy Dove, right? The Daisy underscore Dove that was responding to our original poster. And because a lot of times what happens with these stories is they will turn into like an adjacent thing, and there'll be side stories that give context to like what's going on in the main story. And those ARGs are really cool. Unfortunately, there was nothing on Daisy Dove, and there may have been at one point, but there's nothing on there. So that fucking sucks. But it's cool that actual accounts exist. So that's always fun. It's always great. Yeah, anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there for peace of mind. I was going to include the Wikipedia entry, but he did a wonderful job in the story of explaining exactly what the fuck mustard gas does. So there was really no need to do that either. So jumping back in, moving on with part 3. It's been far more than 24 hours since my last post. I've been sitting in here, dying, waiting for further instruction. I don't have much time left. You would be disgusted by the blisters that cover my skin. From the top of my head to the bottom of my feet, my eyes burn. Breathing is becoming difficult. The small room I'm in is covered in vomit and diarrhea. There is no way to relate the extent of the pain I feel. I still smell the mustard gas leaking into the room. This room is hell. I'm in hell. I've read the comments from part 2 of my story. One thing people should understand is that I've tried many of the escape techniques many have suggested in the comment section. I can't write about such things, though, as you all know. They are reading and watching. It's not as simple as many of you think. I can't for the life of me literally figure out where the gas is leaking from. There are no weak points in the structure. There are no more hints or clues. There's no escape. I started thinking another message would never come. The game was over. I would die. But then, I just received another message from Your Fate in the Balance. I'll paste it below. Well, hello, A10, A10, A10. We imagine things are hunky-dory. Well, except for the pus-filled blisters, the bleeding eyes, and the shit-covered room. But, you know, the things we do for family. Speaking of which, we thought we'd let you know a little more about your daughter. Daisy Dove is, of course, a common moniker she uses, but it's not her Reddit username. I'm not going to tell you what that is, but if you've paid enough attention, you can probably figure it out. In the past, your precious daughter wrote something that bothered us greatly. Her username was noted. We took action. We wouldn't punish her directly. No, we don't work that way. We used you. We would like to thank you for the first 2 stories you've put together. Over 3,000 upvotes and 500 comments all together. Not too shabby. But some of these comments bothered us. Some usernames were noted. We'll list them below. Chainsaws Once, Calfungo, Roadkill 22 Full, an Angry Farmer, RX Booty Slayer, This Broken Life, This New Pissant, Rainbow Dash, Sick World, E-Rock Snips, Levister, 3X Fate, Liberty Underpants. Look through their comments and choose one. Only one. Anyone you'd like. And email the username back to us. We'll take care of them. We have many methods. If any of you would like to repent, then we will give you one chance. Write the username, Your Fate in the Balance, as a comment on this story, then all will be forgiven. If not, and your name is chosen, well, you'll see. Start writing part 3 of your story. Those are your last orders. Follow them, and we will set your daughter free. She has learned her lesson. She will read your stories and see what you've been through. And there is still hope for you. Read through the comments section of your first 2 stories. Somewhere in there, you will find your salvation. We hope you can muster the strength. Yes, we know the correct word is muster. To finish your final objective and submit the last post of your story. Get to writing. Once submitted, if all is in order, she will be set free. I didn't look at the comments made by the users above. I just picked a random name and messaged them. My advice for you all is to repent. Do it. It's not worth it. As to my escape, I started looking through the comments, looking for any hint or sign, and then I started figuring out that nothing is there. I've been left here to die. I've long surpassed the legal dosage of the sulfur mustard, even if I did escape. These people that I'm up against, there's no mercy with them. Again, if your name is listed above, do what they ask. You wouldn't want a family member to go through what I'm going through. The last comment I read before I gave up was from Earl McFisticuffs. He asked, was she worth it? It made me think. This isn't a story about a kidnapping or someone locked in a room slowly being gassed to death. No, this is about a man trying to save his daughter. I know I could end by going into specific details about my declining condition or in swearing angry revenge at my captors, but that's not how I want to go out. My answer to Earl's question is how I've decided to end this series. I know it's probably not what they expected or what the readers wanted, but nevertheless, if I can survive long enough, it's what I'm going to do. And I'll do that by sharing a story. My ex-wife and I never loved each other. We only got married due to pregnancy. And we only attempted to make things work while we had a littler girl. But the older she got, the less effort we wanted to invest in each other. My ex-wife was waiting for an event to trigger it. That event was me losing my job 2 years ago. We went through a bitter divorce. I've always blamed her. It was her fault entirely. But as I sit here in agony clinging to life, I can now admit that that isn't fair. We both gave up. Maybe I even gave up more than her. I'm having trouble seeing properly at this point, and my breathing has become woozy and sporadic. I'm quickly losing control of my body. I can barely even see, but I must finish as quickly as possible. After the divorce, my ex-wife tried to hurt me in any way she could. I'd always gotten along magically with our daughter, and she wanted to take that away from me. I became an outcast, and I lost my family. The next few weeks were the lowest of my life. Even as I sit here covered in peeling blisters, I can still say that it was worse 2 years ago. Sitting alone in a tiny apartment. Alone. Unemployed. No hope in sight. My daughter wouldn't return my calls or text messages. Was my wife forbidding her to communicate with me? Or had she turned her against me? I didn't know. But I was miserable. I would only leave my apartment to restock liquor and junk food. I was falling apart. I was dying. And I accepted that. And then, from somewhere in that drunken, depressing mess, I remember the doorbell ringing. I opened the door, and she was there. My 12-year-old daughter. She must have skipped school and snuck out to see me. She only had a moment to be with me. We didn't exchange a single word. She just grabbed me, embraced me, and she held me for at least a minute. That's how special she was. She knew no words were necessary. She showed me she was still there, and that's all I'd need. She let go of me, turned around and left. I got myself together right after. Got another job, found happiness again, started over. I saw my daughter more and more frequently. I know it's only 2 years later, and now I'm rotting in a concrete room full of mustard gas covered in blisters, but those were the best 2 years of my life. This room is hell. I'm being put through indescribable horrors. I have no escape. But if this death gives my daughter even a hope for survival, then I can see beauty in it. And maybe that's why they want me to post these stories here. Maybe that's why r/NoSleep is so popular in the first place, and why so many people have commented on these stories. It's why you're all here, in its own way. There's always beauty found somewhere in such horror. Sometimes it's real, and sometimes we just want it to be. And we're all sharing it and living through it together, for better or worse. I'll end it there. I feel I'm grasping at my last few breaths. I'll submit before it's too late. For her. What a fun story. What a good time, man. Just, just your own private little domicile, no way out. Nice spicy mustard gas. All because your young teenage daughter posted a comment somewhere that somebody with too much time on their hands took offense to. It was a good story. I liked it. All jokes aside. I could see why it was immersive. There was probably more to it in the comments while it was active, but again, it was almost 10 years old. So there are people that are double digits in age that didn't even exist when that was posted. But it was good. It was good. I chose to do part 2 and 3 in this just because I took a look at part 3 and it seemed doable in a short amount of time. So we just did it all together. I'll put them in a playlist. I'll probably just edit a full cut of the story. It's not that long. So we might just end up doing that. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned. If you like the video and you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe and like this video. Please fucking do it. Go follow the main accounts, Kodiak Corpse, over on TikTok. Join the fan group on TikTok where you guys can talk to each other. Check out my art, KodiakCorpse.BigCartel, as well as Buy Me a Coffee and The Dark We Pray for prints. And then just join the community on here, man. I post stuff, horror related stuff. Sometimes it's related to the stories themselves. If you have a story that you would like to submit, kodiakcorpse@gmail.com. Just make sure the subject line is creep with a K. If there is a story you didn't write that you would like to suggest, please put it in the comments. I'll take a look at it. So until next time, stay spooky. I love you.